Dr. the Honorable Lincoln Douglas, Mr. Morris Sweet, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of the Arts and Multiculturalism, Ms. Boyce Diaz, Deputy Permanent Secretary, mentors for 2014, mentors for 2013, staff of the Division of Culture, other staff of the Ministry of the Arts and Multiculturalism, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, a very pleasant good morning. We have been involved in the creative industries. That is, a lot of the work that we do is in the culture sector. And we recognize that the role that we must play as we contribute to developing the creative industries is to do the developmental work. What does that mean? We have done a lot of research in reference to what is happening in the sector. Our ministry manages Carnival, and Carnival is a major cultural industry. And what we have observed, the information we have collected over time is that while we have a lot of players in the field, meaning a lot of artists who are trying to hone their craft and to make a living out of their industry, there is need for a lot of the areas to become more professionalized. We have people in Trinidad and Tobago who are masters of their craft. And an important strategy to honing your craft is apprenticeship, is mentorship. All artisans in the world, some of the oldest organizations in the world are artist organizations, are artisan organizations, meaning artisans had apprentices, people who worked with them and learned their craft. And we recognize that this can become a major contributor to developing and honing the craft. And so we conceptualize this program called Mentoring by the Masters as one of our major contributors to developing cultural industries. What is the program intended to do? The intention of the program is to, one, identify mentors, people who have succeeded as in their craft, who have been able to make a living from their craft. That was important to us, that you have been able to make a living from your craft. And then there are a lot of young people out there, young and old and young at heart, who want to make a living from their craft. And so the program is to bring these mentees at the feet of these mentors so that they can provide them with guidance. They can help them to find their feet so that they can make a decision. Do I want to make a living out of this? Do I want to make this my final destination? And for us, important was, how do we find these mentors? Do we decide, wake up one morning and says, well, Earl is the best, so we will choose Earl and we'll ask him if he'll do it. In the first year, the approach we took was we invited all the national cultural organizations to send us nominations, who they think in their sector can serve as a mentor. And so we laid it at the feet of the Art Society, for example, the National Drama Association, the National Secondary Schools Drama Association. We laid it at their feet. Help us to identify these people. And we did. Last year we got 10 nominees. In fact, we had 5 mentors for the last program. But as the program was implemented, we recognized that there needed to be some tweaking. We needed to reconceptualize our approach. And so this year, we took a new approach. The Ministry of the Arts and Multiculturalism, in its work in the culture sector, we are focused on 4 main pillars: heritage preservation, development of competencies in the visual, literary, and performing arts, festival development, and I missed the other one. And the development of cultural industries, of course, this one. And so we determined we have objectives to achieve in the ministry. And the work, we decided that, therefore, that under each one of these major pillars for development, we want to look for people who can help us to achieve the objectives under those pillars. And we got nominees for each one of those pillars. And we took these nominees to the assessment committee of the National Registry of Artists and Cultural Workers. We are all aware Trinidad and Tobago has established a national registry of artists and cultural workers. The main objective of that particular registry is not just to get artists to become registered, but to facilitate the gains that could be had, one, from our Act for Philanthropy and the Arts, and of course, 2, access to CSME, and of course, access to under the Economic Partnership Agreement with the European Union. They require that the persons who access must be part of a national database. The government must say, the nation must say these are bona fide artists. And so the assessment committee, the committee that assesses these people, is a group that represents the creative sector in Trinidad and Tobago. So that, for example, on the assessment committee, you have the Art Society, the National Commission for UNESCO. Also representing the committee is the National Museum. And this committee is chaired by the Director of Culture. The Trinidad and Tobago Publishers and Broadcasters Association are also members of the assessment committee. And so we brought the nominees to this committee that, as far as we could, it represents the creative sector. And this committee selected the persons who today you see are the mentors for 2014. And that's a new process. And we have also introduced inside of the program a new section to the program. So that each one of these people will have a group of mentees working with them over an 80-hour period. And for us, what we try, as we continue to work, we continue to try to hone the process to get to a place where we come to a place where we can provide a program of mentorship program in the creative sector that allows for our young artists, our young artisans, our young people who work in the creative sector to hone their skills, to become better at it. This year, we have people in festival development. We have somebody in publishing as an author, Earl Lovelace. We have one of the areas that we also selected was accompaniment. That's an area where we know that we need a higher level of skill. And so you would see, and so when we were introduced to the masters, you would see this is the areas in which we are working because we recognize we need to build skill in these areas. I want to say thank you very much to the mentors for agreeing to become part of this program. Thank you very much to the people who are working with them, to ensure that their programs are well implemented. And this year, what we have introduced is a program for professional development. So we have introduced a new aspect to the program where all the mentees come together in one program. And so I want to thank you very much for coming this morning. I hope that when we have a question time, that if you want more information on the program, you'll be able to get that. And so thank you very much. And let us continue to work together to do the work we need to do to build our creative industries so that the people of Trinidad and Tobago, our young, very talented people who have genius running in their blood, you know that we do, right? We created these steel pans, so we have genius running in our blood. Let us continue to do the work to bring us to the place where our genius continue to shine. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.